was not, it felt like a pretty bad head cold, but I didn't have
Okay.
anything like that, so it wasn't horrible.
Okay. Okay. That's all we can hope for. That's all we can hope for. Hope everybody's, let's see, we're still popping in. I might start sharing my screen. And Andrea, welcome. I see. I think her kids are running around and making a big mess, so she's going to listen to us. But you can still participate. And welcome Tina and Kathy
Great,
and
thank
Bridget.
you.
Welcome
Thank you.
everybody. So happy to see you. I want to give a shout out. Now, which way do I go? I hope I'm going this way. To our executive director, Bob Rotunda, who is here and is going to run everything today. But I am going to share my screen. So I'm going to present as soon as I get over here. I have to move things around when I do this. All right, here we go. Elementary Counselor Roundtable. I still went with the Thanksgiving theme because tomorrow is December, and I didn't want to turn to snow yet because I'll save that for January. It's a big time of year. A lot of stuff is going on. So I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Lisa Milady, and oh gosh, wait, how do I go back? Here we go. Now you know I'm giving away a book. So I'm Lisa Milady. I am your VP Elementary for NYSCA, the New York State School Counselors Association. You know, shout out if you can. Are we all members? I'm hoping we're all members. I saw some of you at the conference. Did we have a great time at the conference? Does anybody want to unmute and tell us all about their conference experience? Anybody? Shout out, shout out. Did you have fun at the conference?
I did. I'll go. I did.
Oh, thanks, Janet.
I really enjoyed it. Our district let 2 of us go this year, so those middle school representative went. I went for elementary. Next year, hopefully we can get a high school person on board. A lot of great presentations, and just I love the level of sharing that occurs. Everybody's so willing to share their ideas and their, everything they're doing, and it's great. So it was a great time.
I love that. And yes, I enjoy the sharing too, and coming together and speaking a language that not everybody understands. When we sit together, we understand our highs, our lows, the struggles. And what I also love is the joined desire to help kids and be helping people. And on the elementary level, it is different from any other level. So I think we got to stand strong for each other. All right. How many people we got on so far? Let me just look. How many people do we have, Bob? I think he's on autopilot.
19.
19, that's it? Okay, but that's okay. If it's just, oh, I'm used to like crowds. Come on, let's have a party. That's okay. So
20.
19 people. I talked to Dr. Rotunda about this, and he's like, sure, you can share your books. One thing that I'm incredibly proud of is I am a published author. And this is the first book I wrote. It's called Bye Bye Pesky Fly. And it is dedicated to a boy named Derek. And he was in kindergarten at the time, and one of my students with autism. And he would come into school and he would say, Mrs. Milady, today is going to be a sunshine, rainbow, happy day. And I'd say, that's awesome. And then about 3 seconds later, like 3 steps into the school, he'd go, oh, everybody's bothering me. I can't have a good day. And so I was thinking, how can I help him? And since I was a little girl, I have been writing stories. I've always dreamed to publish a book. And I was running a race in Lake Placid. I think I told this story. And because somebody heard it and they were like, I'm from Lake Placid. And there was a fly that wouldn't leave me alone and buzzing around my face. And I was thinking about Derek and thinking about the fly. And I said, aha, we have Bye Bye Pesky Fly. And it's about Pig, who's having a beautiful day. You can teach, it is a counseling book. It is about thinking good things and talking it out and breathing to stay calm, not being aggressive, not being passive. And so it's a wonderful book. So we're going to have another riddle. And here's the rules before I go to the next page. The first person to put their answer in the chat, and I just gotta make sure. Oh no, I went so fast. You know what I have to do? I have to stop presenting. I'm going to just stop share for 1 minute. All right, we got everybody here. Did everybody see the answer? Because I have another way we can do. Nobody saw the answer? You did? You saw the answer? Okay. So I am writing down a number. How many people do we have? We have 22 participants. Me and Bob are 2, so I'm taking away a number from 1 to 20, and I'm going to write it down. Okay, I circled it, and start putting in numbers, and the first person to guess the number will win the book. Oh, who did 11? Who's 11? 11, was it Katie Healy? All right, Katie Healy, congratulations. I'm going to go back to presenting. All right, and this time I'll go back. Oh, so Katie, I'm going to have to email you, okay? Congratulations. And tell me how, in the email, let me know how you want to sign it.
Okay.
Okay? All right, congratulations. I hope you love it. Tell us all how you love it. Just for fun, here's the joke. Why did the math book look so sad? Because it had so many problems. I thought that was good for elementary kids. All right, so we checked in. We've been chit-chatting. I want to take a minute to talk about balance, and then we're going to talk about a book called Aspirational Justice. And I would like to shout out and offer if anyone wants to share a lesson the next time we have a meeting, which will be in January. I'm going to skip December because that's a crazy, crazy time. And in January, we'll have another meeting. Good? Thumbs up, everybody? All right, so to participate, I have to stop sharing for a minute and turn on my poll everywhere. We're going to take a poll. Does everybody know how to do this? I think I left it on. Okay, I'm going to share again. All righty. Breathe. Whenever you feel upset, just breathe deep. Okay, so I'm going to present again. Whenever you take a poll, you're going to use your phone and send a message to the number 37607. And in the text box, you'll write Lisa Milady 748. In a minute, it will give you a message, welcome to Poll Everywhere. Don't click on that. Just put in your answer. So here it is. What is one word that describes where you're at right now? So if you text 37607 and Lisa Milady 748. Scrambling. I love that. Oh, content. How beautiful. I'm writing mine in there. Content, scrambling, planet, overwhelmed, chaos, planning. I like that one. Chaos, exhausted. And that's really why I make this at 5 o'clock, so maybe we can still get a good night's sleep ahead of us. Content, insanity, exhausted, overwhelmed, excited, scrambling, planning for the chaos, hanging in there, I hope. A lot of people are picking chaos. I really want to stop and reflect for a minute about the chaos. I know I'm experiencing it in school too. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for 1 minute, waiting. Exhausted and scrambling. We have a lot of stuff. Guys, thanks for sharing. I'm going to stop sharing this, and we're here together as a group. And we are right now 20 people strong, which is really great, which is a great number because we can all shout out. My chaos right now is that the kids are having a lot of difficulty with social skills, and their feelings are hurt very easily, and they're forgetting what it's like to be a citizen in a school. And so there's a lot of mediation with kids. Who is brave and would like to share their chaos or tell us your word and where you're at right now?
I'll go.
All right, who's going?
I said content
Oh,
because
oh,
I
good.
know, like, as counselors, like, we're always going to be a little bit stressed. I
Hmm.
feel like it comes, like, we deal with, we deal with crisis, we deal with kids in, in crisis. We're not always like, dealing with calm situations. There can be calm situations, but I think that comes with the job. So I've been trying very hard to like leave work at work and come home, because I feel like that's like good for my mental health. And it's been like hard sometimes where I feel myself, I'm like, oh, should I go back on my computer? But then I'm like, for me to like do the best job the next day, I need to like relax tonight so that tomorrow I'm like rested and ready to go. So I feel like that's why my word was content, because I think it's a nice mix of like, at school I'm busy and I'm like working, but then I like have that nice mix that and it's my first year, for those who don't know. I'm a first year counselor. So I'm like, I have to start this now, because I know I've heard, fellow educators say to me, like, do that your first year and get that in your system as your mode, because you'll make you a better educator in the future. So I've tried to listen
Yes.
to my colleagues.
Whoever told you that was wonderful, and they gave you a great gift, because being able to separate home and school is a really important thing. Um, I'll shout out my routine every day before I zip up my bag and leave for the day. I have my little list. First thing to do, second thing to do. You know that parent, I think I told you last time, you know that parent I can't get in touch with, and I get there at 7:15. Oh, hello! How have you been? And so it's on that list. And once I write that list, I'm done. And I also turn off my cell phone at 6:30. Imagine that. I know. I it's done. It's gone. I do check it way early in the morning, but 6:30 is my time with my family and my dog, and that's my time. Anybody else? I love that. Thank you for sharing. Who else? Who had chaos and struggling?
Like, I'll share a little. I'm in sort of a different situation because this year I'm like the quarantine SEL coordinator and counselor for 7
Okay.
elementary schools in our district, like all across the 7 buildings for K through 5. And I work with a quarantine teacher. And before I came on board, it was just this woman who taught, who did the instruction. And so now there's the SEL component, and
Mhm.
families are really happy. But what we're finding is, particularly after Halloween, after Thanksgiving, after the holidays, we are completely slammed with all of these positive cases of kids or family members and friends. So obviously they're quarantined. And
Right.
then they have to quarantine again if they're around someone else or if they get sick. So we had literally almost 40 kids, just 40 in the elementary. I mean, that's not including middle, high school, other people, staff, but 40 elementary kids in one day who had to be quarantined, not necessarily positive, but just around somebody,
Yeah.
even like a close
Yes.
contact.
It is.
So it's like we're on the computer before 8. We have
Mhm.
to call all the parents, get the information from Infinite Campus, right? Then we reach out to the families. Then we reach out to the principal of every school whoever it involves, the teachers. Then there could be Chromebooks they don't have. We have to get in touch and get, contact list. It's just, and then you're
Yeah.
online doing your meditation meetings and straight through for 4 hours of counseling. And if you think you can stop at 3:30, 4 o'clock, you can't, because the list of quarantining people is growing. So
Mhm.
even tonight, like after this, I'll be on the phone till 9. I don't think I could call people much later than 9
Ooh.
about people quarantining. So I feel like I guess my chaos is that, like, the perception of, if you're vaccinated, which hopefully, thankfully people are, but you're fine, world is getting normal. And then it's really not, because all these people are having Thanksgiving get-togethers, parties, holidays, and then this is the result of that. So
Right.
it's a little chaotic for the families too, who are like, I don't know how this happened, I don't understand, we're It's a lot of chaos.
Right. Do you have a check-in person that you say, these are my numbers, these are the hours that I'm spending? Do you have a check-in person that you can let know I'm working well beyond my hours? Because what our friend, I gotta go like this, what our friend Katie was saying, how important it is to take care of yourself first.
I know, and that's what my friend said, who's a teacher. She's like, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself. And
Yeah.
we work with the superintendent of curriculum instruction and development, but they're so grateful. Like central administration is so appreciative of what we're doing, and we get thanked
Yeah.
by them. So it's really like it's just the two of us doing all the elementary, and we really can't. Like I've said to my friend, let's pack it up, at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. But we know if we don't get the calls in at 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll be swamped with more calls. There could be another
Right.
deluge of people. It's not always like this. This isn't it
Okay,
all the
it
time.
just happens to be. But Leslie, I hope you feel I validate your mission, your energy, your commitment. These are all words that help us to remember this is what we're doing.
Thank you.
And we are all carrying a heavy load sometimes. And so, we're giving you that strength. And it's important to try to document your time on task. And just so when it comes time to reflect, you go, I did a lot, but I can't remember how much it was. Somewhere there has to be a way to go tick, 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 and just keep track of that. And that's good advice for everyone in the jobs that we do. Sometimes it gets to be too much, and we have to be our best advocates. And the best way we can advocate is with data. Keep track of what you're doing all the time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Leslie. Yeah.
Thank
Anybody
you so
else? We have content. We have chaotic. Anybody else want to pop in? How are you doing? How are you doing, Ivy? I see you look so sweet. Everybody looks sweet. Tamika, you look wonderful. I love to see people's faces. How's everybody doing?
Crazy.
Yeah. What's making you crazy? What's that?
I had a meeting with my director, and I feel like every time I have a meeting, it's like I have more things on my plate. So I do start with the to-do list, but then I add a lot more things throughout the day that I find that at the end of the day, I never got to my original to-do list because I was too busy on the next to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
But like Katie said, I do try to work and then just continue the next day. So I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, you have to hang in. The difference between counseling is teaching is that teachers teach lessons, units, assessment, and move on. Which in some part of our job we do that because we're doing the tier 1 services and we're working with all the classrooms if we're lucky enough to be able to do that. But it is for us as counselors that crazy, crazy wheel that turns so slow. And it just seems like there's things that get done like this, things that get done like this, and then there's this big wheel. And I always worry about not dropping something off the plate. That is my big worry. Tamika, did you want to pop in? How are you doing?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, I agree with everyone. I'm very overwhelmed, and especially this time of the year, Christmas, holidays, everything is coming up. And the kids also are excited too. I'm happy to have all of the kids back. I think in a lot of ways, socially, they kind of got back into the swing of things. I kind of have to remind them we're still in a pandemic. So there are some social skills right when they get off of the bus that they're having issues with getting along and transitional times. And also the specials are still going to be in the classroom and also lunch. So they don't have as much movement as they would like, which is contributing to how fidgety they are in the classroom. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be able to do my push-in lessons. And the teachers are very thankful, I must say. They're like, I'm so happy you could come in. Like, this lesson actually helped me. I did a lot of management, and some of the teachers was like, oh my goodness, I think I could use this strategy. So the climate overall is, I think everyone is overwhelmed, but we're happy to be back because there is such huge educational gaps right now that the teachers are saying the kids are showing. And more kids, I do think down the line are going to be referred. So it's going to make things even more busier, but I agree with everyone else. It's a lot, it's a lot right now, but I'm happy that the kids are back.
but we are making it through the day. So I'm going to share my screen again. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. And that is our game. So I just want to talk real quick about balance. You know, energy, I always see energy as, believe it or not, limited. We all have a certain amount of energy every day when we get up. And I think the energy that you have when you eat right and you sleep and you drink water and you do what you meditate and you take care of your mental soul and your soul and your being, your energy is more focused. But I always think of, I can only do so much in a day. And as you come into the holidays, you know how you have the big chunks and the little chunks and the tiny little chunks? I'm always looking for what I need to swap my energy with. Because let's say the orange is kids who are in crisis and the red is your classroom lessons. Wouldn't that be wonderful, you know? But coming into a holiday and when things start getting really tough, you may have to flip-flop and spend more time with your orange and your kids in crisis and less time in lessons. And it's important to learn the flow of your building and the flow of the job. I'm from Long Island. And so we have, to get anywhere in New York, we have to go through New York City. And if I'm going upstate to Buffalo to visit my family, I leave at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because I don't want to get stuck in traffic. So I know my flow. I know when there's quiet times. I know when there's busy times. And I use that knowledge of balancing my day and putting my activities in a certain location to help me meet with success. So as we go into this season, I want everybody to remember, you can swap out what you're doing and make your life as efficient and effective as you can. Save yourself, okay? That's what I wanted to do. So I want us to share with each other a little bit about the comprehensive counseling program. We're supposed to be hitting academic, social and emotional, and then the college and career. And I will be very honest, I spend most of my energy in that social and emotional piece. And so I thought if we would share with each other some of the ways we try to reach the whole school or how we're balancing that. Are we not doing it? Are we doing it? Are we meeting this success? Are we meeting with success in these 3 areas? So that's my question. I'm going to stop sharing and see if anybody wants to reflect on those 3 components of the counseling program.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm willing to share.
Oh, Kathy, I'm sending you a hug. Thank you, Kathy. Hello.
Hi. I'm fortunate where I work in Rybrook. I'm able to do a lot of the social emotional things in the classroom. So I do spend the majority of my time doing that. I did add the career element a few years ago when it was added into the standards. So I have spent more time the last 3 years, maybe adding a career component into each grade level. And then the academic.
Is it one lesson? What does your career component look like?
I don't have it with me now, but I have a book that I had ordered and I use, lessons from that. And I did, I think just 3 or 4 lessons in each grade. Mm-hmm. And then I try to build on it, starting in the very beginning, talking about hobbies and how your interests are reflected, in what you do and what you choose to do after school. And then how your hobbies can be, eventually maybe built into a career at some point, and thinking about your ability. So we kind of, each grade level does a few activities. Mm-hmm. And then each year I try to add, another element into it. The academics is really done more as part of like a response to intervention team, things like in that respect. But the social emotional is definitely a challenge, like you mentioned earlier. the kids were out of practice, even though we were in school all last year. They
Mhm.
didn't really have recess for much of the year. They were in for half a day. And the last 2 months we had recess, but now they're, kind of out of practice with socializing and compromising and sharing. And so I'm trying to do a lot of like social, emotional, social skills within the classroom.
Mhm. Yeah. That's awesome. And so that's really great. So you really are able to have lessons, go into the class. So you're reaching the whole school with that academic piece. And I love how you have lessons on hobbies for kids. Today I was talking, I was doing a lesson today, and I just, our elementary component is unique in and of itself. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else
welcome.
want to talk about how we get to that career, all that kind of stuff? Oh, from Jessica, Kathy, can you put the title of your book in the chat so everybody can just Google it or Amazon it?
I don't have it here at home. It's at
Okay.
school.
Okay.
So I can try to get that to you. I'm happy to do that. I don't remember off the top of
Yeah.
my head because I'm not doing that unit
So
right now. But
what I'm going to do is put in my email address, and it's vpelementary@nisca.org. And so that way, if you send it to me, I'll figure out a way I'll send a follow-up email to everyone. Hey, we talked about this resource, right? Oh, I put direct message to somebody. Now I got to change it to everybody. Hold on. Send to everyone in meeting. I'll do that again. Anybody else?
I can go, Lisa. I can go.
James, go ahead.
Last year, because of the COVID thing, we did the A&B cohort thing. So my time was limited in the classrooms normally, but I partnered with our school librarian,
Nice.
and we did 5 weeks of career-related stories. We used like the well, now I forgot the names. Oh my God, forgot the names. But we did some stories on what careers are these. The kids did our district's one-to-one computer. Everybody has a computer, so they did with the librarian. They did like a career search type thing, all grade levels K through 4. And then we did a couple more stories. We did a project, Rosie Revere Engineer. We did that one, and we had them do the project, and they loved it. They had a ball. They really enjoyed it. So our other 2 elementaries didn't do it. I kind of went a little rogue on this, but we're gonna do it again this year.
We love Rogue. Rogue is great. And you know what I love? You hooked up with your librarian. And so when you put programs into place, they're more successful when you hook in somebody else to help you with it, And so that librarian who you work together with is great. And you know what? I'm just going to shout out Way of Wisdom. Whenever there's a committee at school, I join it. And if you and if I have nothing really to do with it, I can stand in a hallway. I can cut up letters. I can do anything to help, because I know that when I help others, when it comes time, they're going to help me. So as you are young and new and creating your relationships, helping is a great thing to do. Oh, look at that. 100 ways to enhance self-concept in the classroom. I love that. All right, we're going to have to write down all these resources, and I'll send out an email to everyone. Anybody else want to share anything great?
I was going to share. I don't know if it's
Hi,
great.
Luann.
But
How are you?
Good. How
Listen,
are you?
You just never know what words you say are going to like lift someone up. So your words are fabulous. Go for it.
My dog heard me, so my dog's coming here. But
okay.
I was going to just share how for the career piece, we partner with Junior Achievement.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's heard of that or is familiar with that, but
go ahead and explain.
Okay, so my school is unique in that it's pre-K, K1, 2.
Oh, I love
that. Yeah. So the kindergarten program is all about ourselves. And so what it is it's 5 or 6 lessons, and we have 5 kindergarten classes. And I go in on a weekly basis and teach these classes. And so it's all about ourselves, their interests, what they like, what they dislike. It talks about like same and different and needs and wants, and how to get what you want and to get what you need, you have to eventually work, but it starts off with like chores around the house and things like that. And then in first grade, it moves on, and it's all about our families. And it's really cute because it shows different families in the neighborhood, and there's like a map and visuals, and how Grandpa Nash takes out the trash, and then it shows like, garbage man and recycling, and then in second grade it talks about our community and how the community works together, and the police and the fire department, and it even talks about how some jobs are government jobs and some aren't, and then it talks about taxes and how those people get paid, and yeah, so it just goes
that.
through all that.
That's awesome. I love that. It opens up their eyes to the community around them. I love the word community. I use that as much as I can because we are in so many different communities. I love Dr. Rotunda let us know he used junior achievement in his middle school, which was maybe a couple years ago, just a few. Snowmen at Work is a great book for community helpers. Oh, that's great. You know what? That's great because the snow is coming up. I always love to read seasonal books. It's just something I love to do. Snowmen at Work. Anybody else want to share? You guys are doing great. I hope you are inspiring each other and lifting each other up. So let me go back to share my screen. All right. I love that we share. I wanted to just do a plug. Ready, Set, Goal is the next Champ Camp. Does everybody know about the Champ Camps? See, I'm glad I'm talking about it. So Champ Camp, if you go to the NISCA website, has 5 different presentations. And the next one coming up is called Ready, Set, Goal. And that's actually next week. And it is so important. Data, I was talking about that before. And data, it could be like this. You're going to snooze and fall asleep. But as we are working in our buildings, it's important to look at the needs of the school. I remember when I started and I was like, yeah, we can have a parade and we can make a flag and everybody can put on ribbons on the fence. Yeah. And it's so much fun. And you can organize great things, and those things are great for the school. To make the biggest impact as a leader and an advocate for kids, it is so important to look at your grades, look at your attendance. Even now in elementary school, look at your high school graduation rates. Try to see where there's holes. What's keeping your kids from having success? Look at the data on how many kids are going for discipline referrals. So we have only so much time in the day. Remember the pie? So if you're going to get the most bang for your buck, take the time to sit and look at the problems that you see. Look for patterns that you see. Talk to your principal, talk to your AP. My goal, and I'm doing the Ready, Set, Goal that I'm talking about, is that piece when kids are coming from recess and they can't transition back to class and the teacher can't teach. So we put in a lot of programs just for that goal alone. So Ready, Set, Goal, go to the NISCA website. If you're not a NISCA member, join NISCA and look for Champ Camp. If you go to the NISCA YouTube channel, you can watch the old ones. So there's a lot of information. And you know what? You can roll it in the background, take notes. It's just a lot of ways. It's a great way to be inspired and to look at and to get good information. All right. Those people who went to the conference, we had a keynote speaker, and he also did a session. and it was about the book is called Aspirational Justice, and I got to move you up, and it is by Reverend Dr. Robert A. Spicer. So I'm going to stop sharing here to see if anyone was anyone at the conference and they heard Dr. Spicer? Bob did. Oh, okay. All right. So here I am. It doesn't take much to put me in tears. I cry at the commercials. I cry at, like, my heart gets moved so easily. And so he was such a great speaker. Does anybody have restorative justice in their schools? Anybody want to talk to the restorative justice that they've learned or what they do or what's going on? Leslie, I see you do.
Yeah, so I particularly used it at the middle school level, but elementary, we're really trying to introduce the idea of restorative practice and restorative circles,
Right.
so that when there's a disciplinary issue, instead of the students just getting suspended or detention or in trouble,
Mhm.
they come together, and it's not like you would face somebody who doesn't want to, like a quote victim, I hate to use that word, and a perpetrator, but you want the kids to be able to talk about the harm that was done, like the person to assume responsibility and accountability and kind of repair that harm and repair that relationship through like circles and through that dialogue. And then there's this whole other thing called fair process, I believe. I took an IRP course like through BOCES over the summer. It was amazing. It was like 6 sessions, but it was online, incredible. I don't know if I hit the major points, but it's like
You
the
did.
things
I'm
are
like,
done
you
with
could be
you.
teaching this, those are the major points to restore community and to have people understand the harm that's done and then introduce a way back from that so people can come together. And on the elementary, what I find is that whenever I present a conflict with kids, they don't want to make each other sad. They don't want to make each other angry. I always ask, how did you feel? Did you want to make that person feel that way? And they're like, no, not really. Did you know that this would make them feel that way? And the reason kids are hurting other kids is because they're hurting themselves. So it's on our shoulders to teach them the best coping strategies so they don't hurt each other. So aspirational justice takes it a little bit in a different direction. It uses the circles. Here goes. Dr. Rotunda has his copy. I have my copy. What's important right now, one of the big conversations is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the experiences for different children of different colors coming through our schools, we have to be mindful of that. And I will sit and I will say, I am a white woman of privilege, and it is important for me to understand all of the issues and all the backgrounds. This isn't a tough discussion to have. Over the summer, not this past summer, the one before that, with George Floyd and the riots and everything that was happening, my heart was breaking and I didn't know what to do. And it was COVID and it was sad. And so on Amazon, I ordered this like 24-inch peace sign made of wood and 10 packages of flowers. And I sat there with my glue gun and I glued flowers all over this peace sign because that's all I could do. I needed to do something. So when it was time to go back to school, I took this and I hung it up in my office. And I was finishing up group, and all those kids that never leave? They're like, come on, you gotta go, get back to class. Those kids? And so I had 2 young girls hanging back, African-American girls, and they were looking, and one of them said, Miss Milady, I really like your peace sign. And I said, I made it over the summer when my heart was broken. And she said, you mean like when George Floyd died? And I said, yeah, exactly, when George Floyd died. And in that moment, I realized it's important for me to be able to facilitate and understand and advocate for, and we have work to do in our community. And the good news about aspirational justice is that NISCA is willing to actually buy us books. And so we'll have a certain number of books available for you to get. We got a lot to figure out with this, Dr. Rotunda, about the mail and the postage and how we're going to get it to you. But this is the book that I've chosen, and I've spoken to our president. And because DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important in our systems right now, as counselors, it's important just to have a knowledge base. If you guys want. I mean, is anybody interested? How do you feel about learning about aspirational justice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Leslie, then anybody else? Yes. Tamika, is that Tamika? Katie? Yes. Ivy? Anybody else? Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. We got Janice. We got Darlene. All right. So what you will be looking for is an email. So Pauletta says, yes, definitely. Bridget, I love how you gave her a thumbs up. That's great. All right. So isn't it great to get things for free? And so we'll structure it. I'm not going to say, okay, homework assignment, finish it before, in 2 weeks. It is a quick read. I'm going through it. I'm sketchnoting. Does anybody know how to sketchnote? Does anybody do that? Lindsay, do you do sketchnoting? Or she's saying me too? Lindsay George, tell us what you said me too to. Oh, here it goes. Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I want to learn about what you were just talking about. I don't know.
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You got it. I think this is an important topic for us and to bring our experiences. And I love that it's a nice group of trusting ladies that just want to grow and be the best counselors they can be. And I truly believe it is important to always learn and grow. So we are in that. Sketchnoting is, if you Google it, sketchnoting is a way you draw pictures. So I read something and then I draw a picture and write some words. And when I go through my book like this, when I see the pictures, I have a better memory of what I learned than when I just write a bunch of words myself. So just for fun, do some sketchnoting. And I was teaching DASA, Dignity for All, and a student gave me a picture at the end of everything that I talked about, and she actually did sketchnoting. And I thought, this is so great. All right. So I am happy. I am excited about that. Does anybody else have any questions or anything that they want to talk about who came today and said, no? All right. So here's my last slide. Not who wants to share and shout out today. Do you know today how I took a couple minutes and I talked about, I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other again. And I talked about balance. And then we had a lot of people talking about, oh, this is what I do in career, for career lessons. And we learned about other things today. Does anybody have enough courage to maybe share a lesson plan or bring a book that they like? Anybody proud of what they're doing? All right, so then I'm going to give everybody a homework assignment. The career lessons, oh wait, what's this? Kathy Gerber just sent to us. The career lessons are from a resource called Creative Career Education. All right, does everybody have that? Creative Career Education.
I was able to look it up, so I did find the book.
I love you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She spoke at our conference, Karen Griffith.
Get out of town.
She did ramp camp. She did the ramp camp.
Oh, wow.
You know, fan envy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's support Karen Gannon Griffith, who came all the way to Syracuse for us, because that's pretty cool. All right, next time I make my flyer, I'm going to put bring your favorite children's book. All right, because we are here for resources. We're here for lifting each other up. So before we end, I'm going to tell a sweet story that's going to melt your heart. And I want everybody to think about, oh, come on, we have sweet stories. We work with children, and working with children helps all the chaos and all the stuff that happens. I do kindergarten and first grade walker dismissal, and the first graders line up and their old kindergarten teacher is standing there, and every day they're like, hi, Mrs. Steiger, hi, Mrs. Steiger. And so I was trying to keep them focused. So I said, let's use the word as beautiful as. Who can tell me Mrs. Steiger is as beautiful as? And they're like, a princess, a queen, a butterfly. And I'm asking, and all the kids are going, Mrs. Steiger is as beautiful as. And a little boy from one of my groups from a different class came up and he hugged me and he looked up, he whispered, you're beautiful too. And I was like, thank you so much. Does anybody have a moment that they could just share? Let us all feel good and remember we work with children, and children are just the most magical thing. Yes, Andrea, kids are so sweet. Who's got a story?
I mean, it's really quick, but when the kids leave quarantine and they're not going to be doing like the virtual online counseling, kids as young as 4 to 11, but kids who are 4 will say, I'm going to miss you. Mm-hmm. And they'll say it to me. And then they'll say it sometimes to the other kids, like, I'm going to miss you so much. Mm-hmm. And they're like, it's so touching. It's so heartwarming, that they're like excited and happy to go back to school, but they're actually saying that they're going to miss like the little counseling family that we've had for 20 days or 10 days or like what. Isn't that, I think it's cute.
It is adorable, and it speaks to the human need for other humans. And when you're sitting in your house all day long, but for 30 minutes or whatever it is, you get to look at a screen and you see those same people over and over. Routine and regularity are so good for helping kids get through trauma. And so that's great. Anybody else have a good kid story? Oh, well, maybe you guys are going to have to remember this for next time. I see a message in the chat. I want to check that out. My computer. What am I doing? There we go.
I have a good story about kids.
Oh, who's this talking?
This is Lindsay George.
Hey, Lindsay George. Tell us a great story about kids.
So, and speaking of books that I love, bucket filling. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, and I did that with the kindergartners. We have 3 kindergarten classes, and I always refer to like, are you being a dipper or a filler? Yeah. And then when they've known they've been dipping, they're like, I love your hair. I love your shirt. You're so great. You're so smart. You're so pretty. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Well, look at us filling buckets.
Yeah. So I love that.
They're so cute.
Whenever I'm having a really, really bad day, I just go down to the kindergarten area. I just walk, I look at the bulletin boards, and even sometimes go in and say hi to the kids. It just, they lift you up so much. It's so great. I feel
do the same thing.
Yeah, I feel it's a privilege to work with children. I truly believe that with all my heart. Well, I want to thank you all for taking this time to get onto computers, to speak out, and to just connect with each other. I know it makes me feel good. I have a passion to really unite New York State, and I love how we're in all different places and we're coming together. I'm looking forward to the book club. I'm looking forward to next time. Bring your favorite children's book so you guys can share. Are there any other topics or things of concern? We are going to do DEI. Oh, it is my pleasure to be positive. I'm just going to keep plugging. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Rotunda.
I just wanted to, we rolled out a lesson plan project that we started at our conference. And it's not quite ready for prime time, but it'll be on our website. We've established lesson plans, K-12, career, academic, personal, social, that have been vetted by actual school counselors around the state and that are mapped to ASCA mindsets and behaviors. They're going to be on our website. Slowly, they will appear. So stay tuned for a formal announcement.
Yeah. And I think some of the things are already on the website.
Yeah, they are. Some of them are.
Yeah. So check out the website, go there. There's so many good resources. Remember, you're not alone. And you got friends out there and you have people to turn to. So stay strong. Have a happy, healthy, wonderful holiday. Peace to the world and to everyone. So thank you all. Have a great time. And I'll see you in January. And look for the email about the book, okay? All right. See you good. Be well. All right. See you guys soon. Oh, go ahead.
Lisa,
Go ahead.
I didn't want to disturb